Good morning. Does this work? Wow. This is so exciting. What a rousing prelude. It felt like Rachmaninoff was here with us just in that moment. So everyone, this is Jace's second time with us and also his last. Jessica will be with us next week recovering from her shoulder surgery. So if you just want to take a moment and just give Jace Hinchin a round of applause. And thank you, Luther, and to his parents who are also here for letting us borrow him for a couple weeks. So he's with us here in the community. Hopefully there's other chances to see you performing at Luther. You'll let us know after at fellowship today. So welcome to Decorah UCC. My name's Adam Campbell. I'm the worship leader here today. And just to let you know, at the children's time in just a few minutes, we're going to have the blessing of the backpacks. If any of you have brought purses or computers or backpacks or anything with which you take to work or things that are important to you, you can bring them up too. So if you need to run out to your car and get it now's your moment, just letting you know. So with that said, I now want to invite all of us to take a deep breath together. And let's pause and have a moment of stillness to prepare our hearts and minds for worship together today. And if you're new with us, I'm about to share with you our words of welcome, which can be found in this little pamphlet that's out front. As we gather together today, we remind ourselves of the example of Jesus who welcomed everyone to his table without exception. God's doors are open to all, and we invite each and every one of you to the worship and fellowship of this congregation. Specifically, whether you're young or old or anywhere in between, whatever your history or background, whether your faith is an old friend or you're filled with doubts, questions, or confusions, whatever your sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, whatever your color, culture, or nationality, whatever the size and shape of your family, and whether you're joining us right here or online, we're so privileged and pleased to have your presence here with us today, and you're more than welcome. And now let's gather for worship and fellowship by singing. Benj?
And as we join together this morning, I invite you all to rise in body or to rise in spirit as we sing together our opening hymn, which can be found in the Black New Century hymnal at number 28, For the Beauty of the Earth.
For the
The peace of God be amongst you all. I invite you to show signs of that peace amongst you now. And as you all find your seats, I invite the young and the youthful of heart and anyone who has a computer, a backpack, a purse, a bag, anything they're going to be taking with them throughout the next year that they would maybe like blessed to come up front. Come on up, everyone. Oh boy. Oh, this is exciting. Ooh, the cat bag. Oh boy. Pressure's on today. Wow. Okay, great. Now, have you ever noticed, everyone, that there's lots of different seasons of beginnings? Anyone can keep on coming up. Have you ever noticed that there's lots of beginnings in life? Even in a year. For instance, there's the new year, where we start a new year, but there's also spring, when all the things start coming up. And my favorite, there's also a birthday, right? Where you get to spend a whole new year being a new age. But have you ever noticed that it seems like a lot of beginnings happen in the late summer, early fall? For me in my life, so many beginnings have come right in this time. That's when my personal birthday is. But it's also, of course, when school begins. I was a student for a while. And so every fall, school would start up again. And so this year, already, it seems like summer has come to an end. Is it possible? It already has. And in time, does school start tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? It starts on the last day of August for you. Okay. It starts tomorrow for you. So it starts at different times, but we're entering in the season right now. Right? So what grades, for those of you who are going into school, what grades are you beginning this year? Go ahead and say it out. Third grade? Okay. Sixth grade? What grade for you? Fifth grade. Are you sure? No, okay. Fifth grade? Also fifth grade? No grade. That's school's year-round. First grade over here. You're going to preschool. And you maybe are starting 37th year of school? Okay, and then also summer is back. Hi, welcome back from your summer, and you are starting your 16th grade. And also, Mari, this is your last day with us before you start a whole new adventure in Mexico. Another transition. So many transitions that we're here gathering for. And so we're going to take a moment to gather the things or the satchel that we carry with us, an important item to help us remember how we might want to be in these transitions. Transitions can be turbulent times, right? We can be maybe nervous when school starts and there's new people around us, or a new country, or all kinds of things. And as Onita reminded me this morning, when there's a big transition, it's important to keep your balance amongst turbulent waters, right? So we want something to help us hold our heart and hold our center and hold our mind in a kind of stability when change is afoot, right? And so we've each brought something with us. Do you want to go ahead and hold up to everyone what you brought? I brought my computer because I don't have a bag right now. Look, we've got 3 bags over there. Does everyone notice the cat bag in the bag? I just want to throw that out. Oh, we've got a Rubik's Cube on this bag. Oh, look at this cute bag with a water bottle over here. Flowers all over. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to bless all of these items so that they might carry us in stability and in inspiration as we go into this new time and new year. So let's see, there's a lot of us, but is there any way we can kind of make a little pile right here, just right in the middle where we put our things, or close to it? Okay, we're just gonna put them right here. Okay, a little chaos, that's all right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, good. Just throw it in there. Oh my goodness me. Okay, now then, in the Christian tradition, sometimes we have something called the laying on of hands when it's time for a blessing or in a transition. So I'm going to invite you, if you can reach, to go ahead and put your hand on just one of the bags. And if you can't reach, you can maybe put your hand lightly on someone's shoulder or someone's back if they're okay with it. So we're just going to put our hands on it. And if any of you want to, you can just kind of put your hands up. And don't repeat after me because I'm just going to ramble an invocation for the Spirit, and it might go on too long if we all repeat each other. So I'm going to enter into prayer right now and invite the Holy Spirit to be with all of these bags and all of us in this time of transition. O Spirit of the great mystery, O breath and wind of that divine source, we call upon you now to be with us, and maybe more importantly, to be with these items that will be with us as we walk through these great transitions of our lives. And this one moment where new things are beginning, some of us going into first grade, some fifth grade, some no grade, some 37th grade, some Mexico grade. All different kinds of things are occurring in our lives, and they're exciting, and they're scary. Who knows what's around the next corner? Who knows what's behind that door that we're about to open? And so may these bags and these computers and these satchels and these talismans, may they be carriers and reminders of wisdom for us when we're confused or scared. May they help us remember to be a neighbor to whoever shows up, a neighbor of care. Touch them. May we pause, and may our breath be your breath. May our eyes be your eyes. May our hands be your hands, and may we be, in that moment, once again, instruments of your peace. Guide our steps, guide us in courage, guide us in wisdom, guide us in levity and joy. May there be inspiration, transformation, and a little bit of benevolent surprise along the way. In your name, amen. Good luck out there, everyone. We're with you. Send back reports. Okay. Oh, boy. And the lost and found begins. May the lost things that occur come back to us as we move along the path of life. I'll just keep it right here. We'll find it. It's too bad we can't do that every week. That was really invigorating. And so now, as the twists and turns of life continue to come our way all the time, in a way, every week is a new beginning, every week is a new surprise, we invite you all to pause for a moment and to consider what's been going on for you. Maybe there's inspiration and joy in your life right now. Maybe there's anxiety and concern. Maybe it's all of it and more. This is your opportunity to share with us the prayers that you have in your heart and your mind right now. So, in a moment, I'll bring the handheld mic to you. Just remember to speak very closely into it so we can all hear you. And the invitation is to be thorough and brief at the same time. And then after each prayer after each sharing, we'll have a sung response. Binge?
And our song response will be, God of mercy, hold us in love. I'll sing it once through, and then I'll have everyone sing it with me. God of mercy, hold us in love. God of mercy, hold us in love.
Okay, friends, what shall we pray for today?
I don't have all the details on this, but rumor has it is that Boyd has a significant birthday coming up this week, and I think that you're going to have to ask him for details. But anyway, blessings on Boyd and everything that he endows to us. Let's put it that way.
To Boyd and to all those having birthdays in this time.
God of mercy, hold us in
love. To piggyback off of the celebration of birthdays, my extended family has lots of birthdays this time of the month, and also Thanksgiving for our parents' 66th wedding anniversary, which was this past Thursday.
To the Iverson families and to all those celebrating anniversaries right now.
This is a special day for number one, the pianist's parents are with us here, and they are very nice people, and we're happy to greet them. And number two are for the number keepers in the congregation who like to keep track of things. This coming Tuesday will be Marlene and my 65th wedding anniversary.
To Dwayne and Marlene's 65th wedding anniversary.
And may we remember those who cannot be with us today. May they know that we love them and care for them, and so does God.
For those who cannot be with us here today.
Prayers for our dear friend Peter. He has some ongoing treatments that are coming into his life, so prayer for all the people that provide his care and also for healing during this time.
For Peter and for all of those asking for healing right now.
I wanted to offer up prayers for all the new Luther students who will be moving in next Saturday is the main move-in day for new students at Luther. I'm so happy to see returning Luther students like Ruby and Summer. So it's an exciting time at Luther College and a time to lift up the college community and our professors and our staff, also like me. I didn't have the summer off. I know the faculty do a lot of things during the summer, but I was there every day, and it's exciting to see like everyone coming back together and on campus again.
For all those in our Luther community.
I'd like to offer prayers for families in Postville moving on to new opportunities and hoping that this transition will bring some good into their lives also.
For all of the transitions happening in Postville right now.
I have a friend and mentor who's going to be having surgery on Tuesday. So just lift her up and prayers for healing.
For those entering surgery in the coming week, quick healing. Tim.
Laura got to go to her first state fair yesterday. Ask her about her earrings, and just it was a beautiful day in Des Moines, as it was here, and an amazing experience of statewide community, which I'm grateful for, as is Laura.
For the fair and for statewide celebrations and community.
I've truly been blessed for friends and community and all the things that have gone on in my life. This is 90 years, and I have hopes of going even longer. But I'm truly grateful for everything that has happened in my life and anticipate that it will continue. I have been blessed.
For a blessed life.
Blessings to a memory of Utah Anderson, who played a big part in Luther as well as in the community. Her memorial service will be this coming Saturday. She was quite a huge spirit.
For those who have recently passed. Any other prayers today? Well, then I invite you into the spirit of prayer with me now. Oh, Divine Presence, we pause in this moment to recognize moments of transition. Sometimes there's simple transitions like a visiting friend leaving or a new day. And sometimes it's a major transition like a fire in Postville and all of the people impacted there having to figure out what to do next. Many of us starting new adventures and journeys right here in this moment, in this week. It can be a time of anxiety and it can be a time of excitement. It just reminds us that we never know what's right around the corner. Even though sometimes when life feels quote unquote normal, we think we know what's coming around the corner. In truth, we live in mystery. And so we pause to offer our gratitude, to have a guide and a ground upon which to stand and find balance in turbulent times. And we ask in those moments when our hearts are flooded with concern or anxiety that behind that the peace that passeth understanding might come to us and reassure us and in moments of great joy and inspiration, to be reminded that this too shall pass. And that beyond that, beyond the great highs and the great lows of life, that there is a firm ground upon which we can stand. There is guidance for us, and for that we're grateful. And so we take a moment to honor the truth that there's so many prayers inside each one of us, many of which have not even found words yet. And so we just take a moment to lift all of them up. Knowing that they and more are held. And now you're invited to say with all of us the words that Jesus taught us to pray many years ago, and whatever words are meaningful to you. O God, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I invite you all to join me in singing our invitation to listen, Lead Me, Lord. That can be found as a small sheet that's at the end of the pews for those who would like to see the music to that.
We have two readings today. The first is from Psalm 78, 1-3. My people, hear my teaching. Listen to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth with a parable. I will utter hidden things, things from of old, things we have heard and known, things our ancestors have told us. The second reading is from Matthew 13:34. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. Thus ends the readings.
Good morning. So school is beginning. And I wanted to invite you to think back, especially to when you were a child, and what might be one of those favorite moments of school time for you, especially as a kid. For me, one of my favorites was when the teacher would gather us around and read us a story. And Jesus seems to understand the power of the story. As we just heard in Matthew, sometimes he would give whole talks just in parables and nothing else. And we know from the great mythologists, from throughout time, like Joseph Campbell and Martin Shaw and some other folks, that myth, parable, stories, especially myth, seem to come from a different realm than just the thinking mind. It emerges from a different place, and it speaks to us in different places. And it seems that one of the reasons Jesus often spoke in parables was because the story can work on each one of us in a different way. And in a different time, a parable can mean something different to us than it did maybe a few years ago. And so I liked this idea. When I saw that reading today, Jesus often spoke only in parables. I thought, maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe we should have a story. And so I thought today, I've brought the book. I'm going to invite you to at least metaphorically gather around. You don't have to come up if you don't want to. But I'd like for the reflection today to be a story, a parable, a modern parable, if you will. Because some of the tricky things about the parables that Jesus teaches us is they're in a context from 2,000 years ago, and sometimes they can be a little bit hard to understand. And so today, I'd like to share with you a parable from a fellow named John Moriarty, who's a great lecturer, teacher, and mythologist from Ireland, and who has not just been a great student of Christianity, but also a student of the Irish mythic tradition. And so this is a story from him that's about a small community on a tiny little island off the west coast of Ireland. So today's reflection, I'm going to sit on the stairs because I didn't have a good stool. So, can you see me? Don't worry, it's not a picture book. But the story is called Big Mike. Here it is, Big Mike. The story is called Big Mike. Comes to us from John Moriarty, from the Irish Celtic tradition. Big Mike, he was called. And ever since he came home to the island after 30 years at sea, people felt there was something inwardly torn or broken about him. He's had a rough crossing somewhere. By nightfall on the day of his arrival, everyone knew he was back. Everyone who saw it was glad to see smoke from the old chimney of his grandfather's place, silent so many years. After a couple of days, anyone who hadn't seen him looked forward to meeting him on Sunday after Mass. But he didn't show up. Neither was there sight nor light of him the following Sunday. One thing, and this was a big thing, they knew about him now. He wasn't rowing in behind Christ. Sarah Coyne didn't like it. Not that Sarah was pious. As midwife on the island, Sarah had helped to bring him into the world, and if only for the sake of his dead father and dead mother, she wanted to hear that he'd fared fairly well in the world. One night, her curiosity getting the better of her, she went up to see him. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, she said to Jim Barlow an hour or so later. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. He has, and yet he hasn't come back. He's still out there somewhere, in the roaring forties of the sea and the roaring forties of his mind, out there where the sound of the last foghorn and the light of the last lighthouse can't reach him. Trying to throw a lifeline to him, she was the next day. Trying to call him home, she was when she sent him up a loaf of homemade brown bread and a jar of gooseberry jam neatly labeled and dated, thinking the taste of the gooseberry jam and the smell of the brown bread would help to call him home. He unfurled too much of his mind to the wind, Marcus King said to Sarah one day. He let out too much sail to the wind. No, Sarah, we aren't keeled for the waters Big Mike was blown into. Walking home from Mass that Sunday with Sarah, Marcus King was a strong and able man. Little did he or she suspect that within a year he'd be passing these same houses, Ned Lavell's house, Burke's house, Coyne's house, his own house, in a coffin. For 3 days, all activity on the island stopped for the wake. And on the night after the funeral, lying awake in bed, Ned Lavell was wondering, who's going to man the beam oar in my boat? My 8-man boat, who's going to man the beam oar with Marcus gone? Christ, Big Mike is the only prospect. I've got to go ask Big Mike. And so he got up and went to the cabin and asked straight away, would you man the beam more, Mike? And Big Mike said, I will. And Ned was pleased. And that evening there was a sound of new footsteps, other footsteps, footsteps the women hadn't heard before on the gravel path going down to the sea. Coming to their doors, they wished him well. Something in him evoked a need in them, the need Sarah Coyne had felt when she had sent him a loaf of homemade brown bread and the pot of gooseberry jam. As was their custom, they waited to watch the boats going out, 18 of them, out wide around the breakers, out around the headland into the ocean. Next morning, daybreak, they would once again be standing at their doors, counting them more anxiously this time. 16, 17, 18. Yes, they're all coming home. As they came into view around the headland. That was the pattern of island life, the sound of footsteps in ones and twos and threes going down to the sea every morning, coming back every evening, coming back every morning. Within a year, Big Mike had fallen in with the old ways of his people. Outwardly, there was nothing odd or different about him. And yet he was strange. Manning the beam oars, Big Mike submerged himself in a common task, and maybe that's why he regularly now came to Mass. Recognizing Jesus as a good man at sea, he was willing to row in behind him. And so it was that the women began to know him as they knew every other man, by the sound of his footsteps on the gravel path. And something in those sounds, a sense of silence sown by them, reassured Delia Lacey. It occurred to her, having talked to him one evening in his house, that maybe Big Mike was a holy man. But how could this be? How could a next-door neighbor of hers be any such thing? Neither in appearance nor behavior did he resemble any of the saints that she regularly prayed to. He didn't talk about holy things. And yet, when he talked about ordinary things, about tea or turf, it was like being at Mass. It was a strange and troubling thought. By the end of March, it was evident that Sarah Coyne, the midwife, was dying, and she was dying hard, not willing to give in. The people called for the priest, and the priest came. And after the priest came, Sarah asked for Big Mike. So Big Mike took 9 days off work, and 9 nights later, he was still ministering to her calmly in word and deed. Sarah had babied Mike into the world, and now Mike babied her. He babied her out. In the end, Sarah died in peace. She had helped him to come into the world, and he helped her leave it, and people were sure of it. At the wake and at the funeral, they were sure of it. They were sure that Big Mike had prepared her in some way for whatever it was she would meet in eternity. And now it wasn't only Delia Lacey who was threatened by strange thoughts of holiness. And so it came that, having cleaned the nets one morning, Big Mike told Ned Lavelle that he wouldn't be manning the beam oars any longer. This wasn't upsetting news for Ned. For the past couple of years, his grandson, who had replaced Big Mike a few times, had been hoping for just such an opportunity. That evening, the women were aware of a vacancy, of something familiar not there. On the gravel path outside their doors to seaward. And again the next morning, it was by their absence that they were made aware of Big Mike's footsteps. It was like a bereavement, Nora McGrail thought. It was like an angel fallen silent. But on and off the next day, Ned Lavelle heard something, a hammering up at Big Mike's house. Again the next day, he heard it a few times. What now? He wondered, what's he up to? Only one thing to do about it. I'll go up and find out. You're not thinking, he said, seeing what was afoot. You're not thinking, are you, Mike, of repairing the boat? Of going out to sea in that boat? I was thinking I might, Big Mike replied. Don't, Ned said. Don't go to sea in a boat as ill-omened as she is. It isn't hearsay. I was there myself that day. I saw it myself. She was standing there, perfect and finished, a beautiful thing. Proud of her, the boatwright tapped her lightly on the right gunwale, and with a sudden frightening crack, she split from stem to stem. It's a bad sign, Mike. A warning. Your grandfather heeded it. He left her to rot. Don't go out in it. She's destined to sleep in the great waters. And yet, a few days later, Mike asked some of the men to help carry the boat down to the pier, and reluctantly they did. People were at a loss what to think or do. The evening Big Mike walked down to the pier, his footsteps back on the gravel, and rowed himself out alone in an ill-omened boat into the ocean. Everyone knew the unwritten contract with the sea. You don't go out beyond the headland alone. Every door was next door that night. In houses 3 doors away, 4 doors away, from their own door is where everyone was sitting, talking, trying to comprehend. Everyone wanted to know what everyone else was thinking. What's he up to? Whatever it was, he wasn't respecting the ocean. He was tempting the ocean. He was breaking the bond, the understanding between the people and the ocean. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not tempt the ocean. Thou shalt not tempt the immensities beyond the headland. What else could it be? He didn't intend to come back. And now, after every tide, they would have to comb the foreshores looking for evidence of his drowning. At daybreak, they were waiting for the first boats to appear around the headland. Eagerly, as they came, they counted 16, 17, 18, and yes, there it is, the 19th boat. They're coming home. Big Mike is coming home. And then again the next morning, 16, 17, 18, Christ, 19, Big Mike is coming home. Morning after morning, he came home. And not only that, he came home like someone who had all of his wits about him. He cleaned his nets, talked as often as he would about the drift and run and color of the sea, and then went home. Whatever it wasn't a madness. Yet again, people were having to get used to him, this strange man. 3 or 4 months later, having cleaned them one morning, instead of hanging them over the seawall like normal, he put his nets back into a bag and took them home. Delia Lacey, who called to him bringing eggs later that morning, saw them hanging up in his outhouse. Calling it a day, everyone said. Big Mike has called it a day. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Even the rocks seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The women felt their prayers had been answered. They were glad they wouldn't be coming home from the shore some morning with a washed-up soccer shoe. And yet, there it was again that evening, the sound of his footsteps, Big Mike going down to the sea. Surely he's just going down to talk with the other men, the women thought. Yet anxiously they stood and watched as 16, 17, 18, Christ, 19 boats went out that night. 3 doors, 4 doors, 5 doors away from their own door, you'd find them again that night. The people talking, gone out without nets. What's he doing? All night they waited, and in the morning, at first light, 16, 17, 18, Christ, 19 boats came around the headland. Let him be now, John Joseph Burke said. Let him be. We don't know at all what ails him. Madness people could understand, but this was worse than madness, more dangerous altogether than madness. Night after night with no nets. His nets hung up in a sack outside his outhouse, and yet there he was, rowing himself out every evening, out wide around the breakers, out around the headland of the ocean. For what? There was no understanding it, and as John Joseph Burke, doddering on 2 sticks, had advised them to do, they let him go. Even to pray for him now, some people felt, was somehow not right. Even if it ended up in disaster, even if you were the one who came across the washed-up shoe, so be it. Big Mike was gone beyond recall within himself. He was gone beyond the sound of the last foghorn, beyond the light of the last lighthouse. And yet, for anyone who looked at him, more than passingly, there was a very obvious kind of sanctity in him. They could hear it in his voice. They could feel it in his presence. And the sound of his footsteps now resonated a deep tranquility, a sense as if it were a journey's end. To stand in his presence was to stand in a great calm, a peace that passeth understanding. A man gone beyond any lifeline Christianity could throw at him. That's how it seemed. And yet, He might be a holy man here on our island. It was a terrifying thought. God bless you, Big Mike, John Joseph Burke said, looking after him, going down to the sea one evening. And one night a great dark came down. And it came down over ocean and over island. And on a night like that, fishermen don't seek to come in, because on a quiet, dark night, you won't know where the rocks or the breakers are. So on a night like that, you go out. And so dark it was that night that poor old Celia Burke, who had been blind since 10 years old, but Celia had never had a problem with her blindness, because in her own understanding, she wasn't blind at all. For in the depths of her black apron pocket, she had a rosary. These beads were her stars, they were her constellations. It was in her apron pocket that lied her firmament, and in that firmament were the 15 mysteries, the joyful, sorrowful, and glorious mysteries of the Christian tradition. They were her constellations to navigate by in time and eternity, her light in the darkness. But when tonight Celia took them into her hand below in the depths of her apron pocket, this night she felt only darkness. It was like the darkness that was before the world was. Tonight, for the first time in her life, Celia had nothing to navigate by. Her faith was blind, the light of her firmament was quenched. That's how dark it was. And the men had rowed out into that great darkness, and Ned Lavelle was out there when suddenly his men said, "Something ahead." Without thinking, they all rowed away. What in God's name can it be? Ned Lavelle thought. A whale or what? And then out of nowhere, like a slip of the tongue, he heard himself saying, "Big Mike." Could it possibly be that out here, he's out here in this great deep? He called out, "Is that you, Big Mike?" The answer came back, "It's me. It's Big Mike." "How's the fishing, Mike?" And from far away they heard him, all four, all of them heard them, Big Mike calling out, "The fishing is good. The fishing is very good. The fishing is fantastic." Eventually light began to return. They couldn't determine whether it was the light of sunrise or of sunset, but hoping it was sunrise, they rowed without much confidence in its direction, and in the end they found their bearings and rowed home, Big Mike in his boat, alone, rowing behind them. And when they got in, Ned was careful to look in Big Mike's boat, and he saw not a scale of fish in it, not a scale of fish. It was more than Ned Lavelle could take, and he got up and went to Big Mike's house. "What does it mean, Mike? What in Christ's name does it mean? In the dark last night, I called out, asking how the fishing was, and in your voice, and there's no mistaking your voice, Big Mike. In your voice, all of us heard you, answering, 'The fishing is good. The fishing is very good. The fishing is fantastic. I looked in your boat, moored below at the piers this morning. There's not a scale of fish in it. What are you up to, Big Mike?" Big Mike sat by the fire, calm. "I'll tell you, Ned, I'll tell you. I left here, as you know, as a young lad, went out into the world. I worked on some old tramp steamers that plied between Glasgow and Liverpool, up down the English coast, but finally I went out into the great ocean on the great boats. And out there, in the big capes and the big latitudes, great questions arose in my mind. I needed answers. So I didn't spend all my time in those great ships, but I went inland. I climbed the Himalayas to find monasteries, found ashrams in India, went looking for answers. I met many holy women and men, came across all forms of religion, and everywhere I took with me these great questions. But somehow or other, I wasn't finding the answers I was looking for, and even in these holy places, there wasn't the kind of silence I was seeking. And one day, in the Australian outback, an old medicine man told me, he said, "You won't find it here. Go home to your island, go home to your ocean. If you're to find it, you'll find it there." And that's why one evening, after 30 years, there was smoke from this chimney. From then on, it was like being Job. It was like being Jonah. And like Job and like Jonah, I had to let God enact a parable on me. I had to become a living parable. A truth that God would make visible be made visible in me. And so, Ned, night after night, alone in an unlucky boat, I rowed myself out. out wide around the breakers, out around the headland, into the ocean. Out there, night after night, I cast the net of my mind into the ocean of experience. Into it also I cast the net of my heart. Every morning, hauling in the net of my mind, I hoped that in it I might find the great creed, the great knowing, but I never did. Neither did I, hauling in the net of my heart, find it in the great emotion, the great saving passion or rapture. In both nets from time to time, I found marvels, yes, but I didn't find final healing. And you know the rest, Ned. I hung up my nets. The net of my mind and the net of my heart hung up in a bag outside of my outhouse. I rowed myself out. I rowed myself out with no nets. And I have news for you, Ned. Final healing isn't in the net of the mind, nor in the net of the heart. It is healing beyond them into divine ground within, divine ground below passion in the human heart, below knowing in the human mind. Out there in that divine dark, alone with no nets, out there in that divine deep, fishing, not fishing at all. The fishing is good. The fishing is very good. The fishing is fantastic. Out there in that divine dark, out there in that divine deep, the fishing, not fishing at all, is blessedness, is bliss. And that, Ned, is good news.
Our song of response today can be found in the Black New Century hymnal at hymn number 30, Colorful Creator. I invite you all to rise in body or in spirit.
Creator, God of mystery.
You may be seated. And now we take some time to pause and reflect, to pray, and to meditate on all that we've heard today, and what actions we might like to take as we leave today and enter into the constantly transitioning world. If one of the actions you would like to take is to leave a donation for this church and its ministry, you can leave them in the plates at the back of the room. And now I invite you into a time of prayerful reflection. And I invite you into the spirit of prayer with me now. Divine Presence, may all that we have heard today work on us on all the levels that there are inside of us. May we be opened to a greater mystery and a greater compassion. And may we become aware of the miracles all around us all the time. Amen. Pause for a few announcements. All of you are invited right after this downstairs for a time of fellowship. Come find out details about Boyd's Blessed Life, or where you can find out where Jace might be playing this year at Luther. So many reasons to come downstairs. Please don't miss it. Come downstairs right after this. A second announcement is the volunteer board, which is right here, has been updated. So there's whole new slots for September that you can sign up for. Don't rush me all at once. Don't worry, it's just going to be right back there. So it's hanging up in the friendship room. So it'll be right back there. So if you'd like to be lighting the candles, or if you'd like to be a reader, there's 6 different things you can sign up for. Don't miss your opportunity to sign up. Are there any other announcements? There might be a lot, since many things are starting right now. Phil, you have that look.
I don't know if anything was said last week about these 6 lights, but we were able to find new, different bulbs that shine more of their light down and less of it out at you. So that's one update on the building. And many of you may have noticed, if you were out and about around the church this week. The construction on the solar panels has begun. Started on Monday. So there are big posts back there now sticking out of the ground, and the panels should start going up in the next couple of weeks. And Decorah Electric tells me that we may have them, they may be finished installing them in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then maybe another month at most to get them turned on. So that's very exciting with the progress on the solar panels. And finally, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be sharing more information about the window project in the center. So stay tuned for more information about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. And because of the solar panels, the church backyard pickleball tournament has now been canceled. So, any other announcements today? Seeing none, we'll sing each other out.
And I invite us all to rise in body or rise in spirit as we join together in singing each other out with the words and music of Michael Stillwater. One by one, everyone comes to remember we're healing the world one heart at a time. That for those who are unfamiliar, listen, join in as you feel. It's a very easy one. We'll split into a round. I'll widely divide us into 2 parts, but please join in on the 3rd part of the round as well to fill out the sounds. One by one, everyone comes to remember we're healing the world one heart at a time. One by one, everyone comes to remember we're one by one, everyone comes to remember. One by one, everyone comes to remember. One by one, everyone comes to And may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sea be stable for you. And may your heart be blessed. Go in peace. Amen.